Welcome everyone. Again, my name is Alfonso. I am the product marketing manager here at Sarah, and I'm very excited to share with you how to create great listings and give you a couple examples of what's outstanding and what's not. Let me just share my screen and we'll kick it off. So one thing that I wanted to mention is that before we would get started, my team has been working with real estate teams for years now, and with a team of designers that works with them around the clock to ensure that they have all the marketing material and that they all the material that they need to make their listing stand out. We have noticed that there are a lot of opportunities that agents and teams come with in terms of improvement, whether it's jumping on a discovery call where they upload old material that they got from a designer or something that they created in the past and that they'd like to repurpose, or simply, bad design is abundant and it's something that's everywhere. And so is bad marketing. But the good news is that there are a lot of things that you'll learn today to keep an eye for and keep in mind, and that will keep you on the right track. And secondly, with a platform like Sarah that does all the work for you, you can basically manage, repurpose all these designs and walk out the door with buyer-centric designs and branded content in only minutes. So I think that one thing I wanted to talk about was expectations, right? I think that what I see is that agents are constantly working around the clock, managing client expectations, needs, solving problems, going to open houses and working on contracts, emailing back and forth. And you only have 24 hours to pull this off. But what no one talks about is your second and unpaid job, which is managing the visual communication of your listings. Basically coming up with enough material to market all your properties in every channel before everyone else, while staying on brand and looking professional, and hoping that all that blood, sweat, and tears will result in listings that actually stand out. So, if you ask me, I think that these people in real estate kind of have superpowers that are just unrivaled. So today we'll go over a couple of things, design and layout mistakes, as I promised, and how to avoid them, pushing your listings with the right language and wording, and what aspects to emphasize and how, as well as examples of really best in class materials. And I think this goes without saying, but using high quality images is something that goes a long way. As eye tracking studies have shown that basically 60% of the time spent checking out your listings is actually looking at those images, and then the rest is spent either reading specs or reading realtor comments or descriptions. So really every single aspect of it counts. No pressure. And by the way, this image that you see here, that's very low res and completely all over the place, is something that I found on the internet. It's not something that I'm not putting anyone on blast here. But you're taking time off your day to create, or you're working with a marketing team or designers, and they want no business in doing revisions. So on top of that, you only have one shot at first impressions, and your buyers are just going about their day, whether it's on Facebook or seeing a window flyer or a multi-property listing. And that means that you got very, very little time to attract their attention. So before we get into what great design is, let's talk about what not to do and what to look out for when you are actually creating a design. And I'm sure that a lot of people have come across a couple things like that in their time. And among the mistakes that we see working with real estate agents is a lot of phony stock pictures. To this day, I still don't know why these keep popping up. Text overlays, as you see in this picture, where it says fire sales or developer sale, it's just really really not pleasing for the eye. Or superimposed property images. As again, I think that this image is just as bad as they get. And of course, lack of branding or bad usage of branding, clutter images with low resolution, or people who export in the wrong dimension, that notion of all one size fits all, and bad element focus or lack of contrast. For example, in this picture, you cannot tell what's what, and yeah, no usage of white space and missing key information, as you can see in this picture. I think that the easy answer to really remedy that is that you opt for buyer-centric marketing. And what does this mean? Essentially, it's pretty straightforward. It's considering who the potential buyer is and work to gear the listing towards them, right? So the first thing that you should ask before you start a design is really, what is the first element or piece of information that I want my audience to see? What is it that they need to see? And essentially, what is the focus? Will I go for a symmetrical or an asymmetrical design? So basically, a symmetrical design means that it creates a balance through equally weighted elements aligned on either side of the center line. Or asymmetrical design, as you see in a lot of flyers, is uses the opposite, right? Different weights, like contrasting one large element with several smaller elements. Typically, it's one larger picture. The other thing that to always look out for is whether we're using the correct branding, right? All your colors and all that. Basically, it's free real estate for you. Get it? But really, your brand is your identity, and it will determine if people recognize your business, or if they trust you, if they call you or not. And one thing that we keep seeing is a lot of overstretched logos or missing logos, and you often wonder why. Another thing is balance and alignment. You typically see that when people come in, or at least we do, is that there's a lack of balance in terms of colors or in terms of weights. And the last one is several typefaces or several fonts, right? People tend to go crazy here when it's first time creators, or when sometimes we even see outsourced stuff. Just keep it to 2 typefaces. Really, that's the magic number. And another one is the usage of white space. White space isn't just white space. It's not sitting there just doing nothing. Basically, it's creating a hierarchy and an organization within your page, or within your listing. So our brains naturally associate ample white space around an element with importance or luxury. So the last one is to use, I think it's pretty it's a no-brainer, and it's to use your best 5 pictures to make it count, right? So I think that the first thing I would like to do to make my point is to just show you guys the best some of the best examples we've seen from some of our users. And let me just switch my screen to go live here, and I'd like to just go to my team templates and share some great. Here we have an awesome supplier, I believe, by Prop Hunt. They are a real estate agency in South Africa. They've been working with us for quite a while, and I think that this is pretty much the perfect description of what I was saying. Here we have perfect branding. We have their typical fonts. We have a design that is centered around the focus, which is this gorgeous villa, and then with the other asymmetrical aspects that are broken down to center everything around this, and let the buyer also get the specs with what's left. And they use the white space to put other very important details of the design in there, right? I think that branding is one of the easiest things when it comes to using Sarah. It's one of the easiest things. All you have to do is pop your logos in here and your texts, and you'll be able to switch around. You'll never forget them. They're always where you need them. If you ever are too lazy to do this, that's fine. You can also keep them saved here in assets under logos. You can just drag them into the page and you'll have them there. So this is just a safeguard, or basically training wheels, to ensure that you never leave that free real estate behind. Another thing that's really important is that that they never get lost in translation. So going back to our slide, let's talk a little bit about what to include in terms of text and language, right? So I think that again, the recurrent answer continues to be continue to think of who your potential buyer is and continue to gear your material to them, right? The first point that I want to say is that MLS data is always your best friend. I think that this is, if there's a positive attribute that you can find here, repeat it, because this is stuff that sometimes isn't there in public sites. For example, I don't know, low taxes under 1,500 per year. I think that another thing that people forget to do is to use descriptive or meaningful language, right? They use some meaningless words like cozy. Like, why is it cozy? Be specific about it. What are the amenities that it's coming with that make the buyer's life a lot better? The other thing is to keep your data consistent. So one of the most common issues that we see is missing or inconsistent agent data. So who are they going to call? People keep copy pasting stuff instead of just, keeping it in there. And I think that's one thing that I was trying to show you earlier on with my Prop Hunt Facebook post, was that this is actually pretty easy to replace. You actually have all your data here under assets. So whenever you go on the side panel and you don't want to be, I don't know, for example, looking up your agent name, or you just want to, not, you're working with other agents, you can just keep it under assets, under smart fields, and just drag it in, whether it's your team name or whatever it is that they want to put in there, your phone number, just drag it in here, and it will always be there. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that you should always err on the side of thoroughness and transparency versus briefness and simplicity. I think that a lot of people miss that chance to add really important materials that they should be adding, that you find typically either in MLS data or whether it is things that your agency has. And keywords do what pictures can't, right? So I think that something to take into account is who the buyer is based on their home and what benefits do they get based on their lifestyle, right? So highlight the location, maybe proximity to entertainment, features like included appliances or materials. I think a lot of people are looking out for keywords like, I don't know, parks or green spaces, or what is it or how is it that the property makes the life of the owner better. And people also search for keywords like remodeled, marble countertops, and things like that. So it's like things to avoid that is just really easy. I mean, things to include that are really easy to find, and people just for some reason miss out on the opportunity. And another thing that we keep seeing is people writing in all caps. It just looks like spam and to potential buyers, and it cheapens the overall feeling of your listing. So that's one thing to look out for. And the last one is to avoid papyrus typeface at all costs. It's maybe the most hideous or the weirdest font that you see around, and for some reason it is still very popular. I think that nowadays, in order to create a listing, it's as easy as it gets. You can even do it with just your real estate data, with your MLS data. Let me just show you in 1 second. So I can just, let's just say that I grab this property, and this is one of my many different templates. Let's, just so you know, you can always find templates here. For example, if I go to MLS, which are automated templates, I can immediately grab any template that where I can just input my MLS listings number, and it will populate it with all the different fields such as agent, square feet, different amenities that the house has, price, and everything that you might be able to find in the MLS, as well as, and it will just do it in seconds. And lastly, you're able to switch this around without even thinking twice, right? So let me just do it right now. Just putting my listing ID number, and everything is already there. As you can see, the price changed, the description changed, the agent changed, their email, everything is there. And if I want to change my logo for whatever reason, which I can do so by just going on my templates, my different logos, and let's say that I just want to use this one, and it will switch it out, and it will also use all my colors, right? So as I was mentioning earlier on, this is what makes it easy for you to just do it in one go. I think we have some questions in the chat. Jay is asking, how does the MLS data get incorporated into the document? Great question, Jay. So this is actually pretty simple. This happens because we have a lot of different, we have smart fields, as I mentioned earlier on, that are already incorporated into the template. So you can just drag them into the template, whatever smart field it is that you want. If you want to switch them around, you can easily do so. Smart templates, smart fields are always signaled with a purple background. So whenever you see or you hover over something like this, you can change it. If you're using external data from an MLS listing, you can also see when it changes, right? Let's say that you posted a listing, and you incorporated it a couple months ago. The house, for whatever reason, is still on the market. You'll be able to see that it has a check mark if the listing is still current, And if it's not, you'll have a red mark where you'll be able to replace it. All you have to do is replace MLS listing or replace data, and it will automatically update it. So everything is kind of already done for you. Yeah, so I kind of want to go back to what we were talking about earlier on, and touch upon what the different channels, right? Because I think that it's really important uh, to understand that there's a lot of different channels that we can use and that we can target. And one number that may come as a shock to some, but it shouldn't, is that 42% of first-time home buyers start their search online. And as a matter of fact, 95% of all buyers end up looking online at some point or have some sort of touch point, whether it's Facebook or social media post, whether it's a site, newsletter, an ad, or a video that you have on your site. It's always there. They always end up there, and I wanted to make sure that everyone is covered. Of course, the Xara library comes with all the above mentioned formats, but I wanted to talk a little bit about digital media and digital formats. And I think that, of course, a lot of people come here thinking that they can just create one design and take that single format and print it or use it for Facebook. And well, you can't. In short, you're not supposed to. But the good news is that you can change this with one click. But I wanted to say that different mediums really require different image specifications. So before you start, be sure to check what they are. So for example, Facebook ads, for instance, should be 1200 by 628 pixels. But if you're designing a flyer on the print side, right, and you want to print it at Kinko's, you want to have some 8 by 11 inches design saved as a high quality PDF. And yeah, just always ensuring that you're following the correct image specifications, and for your design to always be enticing to the user. A lot of people here, I know for a fact, are using Facebook as a rule of thumb of what's not in the design. Really, in terms of copy that you want to use, is break down your text, use bullets. I see that a ton of times that people write a huge paragraph, and people who are scrolling through their feed won't see this, right? So you want to highlight or use the very first line as a call for your audience to make sure that they stop on their tracks. In terms of image resolution, I think that for anything that's displayed on the web, you should have a minimum of 72 pixels per inch at least. And for printed images, it should be somewhere around 300 ppi. In terms of file types, as again, rule of thumb is web, PNG, JPEG if you're being mean to yourself, and for print, it's high quality PDF. So one thing that I actually wanted to say is that you don't actually need to remember this. With Xara's template library, you can basically skip straight to the templates. And let me just maybe just go back to the template library. And it's important to note that you can just, I mean, you have thousands of templates, but let's just go into our automated MLS templates. They're always in the right size, the right format. So if you need a flyer for print, or let's say that you need something for a window display, or whether it's a Facebook, you can always actually search it in the templates in the search bar. Or let's say that I want to do this Facebook open house. You can always have it. But if let's say that you, for whatever reason, you like this template, you filled it out, and at some point you realize, oh crap, I actually need to use this for print, or I actually need to let's just quickly brand it. And let's say that I want to use it for Instagram, or for Twitter, whatever it is that I want to use it for. I can simply just select whatever it is that I need, and you will immediately have a copy in the right size. Not only that, I think that let me just make the copy and resize it. So you already have it out there. Resize now. Sorry, I just need to allow my pop-ups. Another thing to mention about that is that once you've resized it, you can also share it, and this will immediately, if you share it on social media, you can always immediately resize it for whatever it is that you need. It's always already done for you, so you can edit the post as you go, and you don't actually need to do anything about it. And lastly, I think that once you've actually come up with like a great design, so I already have all my posts here, it's already created that for me. Once you actually have a great design that you feel that, let's say that it's, wow, this is something that I want to use again, and this will save you a ton of time as well, is that you can lock it, or lock certain aspects of it. Let's say that I want to keep the logo in place, or this bar in place. Let's say that I want to keep the logo here, so people don't do anything to it. I can do so as such. So whenever anyone wants to come and move it around, nothing happens. It just stays there. So another agent can come, they can customize their next one and save it for their own purposes. So let me just show you how to save something as a template. And so if you save whatever it is as a template, let's just go back to, I don't want to save this as a template because my team will get mad at me. Let's just say that I make a copy of, I like this flyer. So I will save it as a template. Second. So now this is a template. Let's name it Alfonso's template. Terrible name, by the way. So once I access my team templates, or whenever someone else comes and accesses team templates, they'll be able to modify it. Or I mean, once they hit open, they'll be able to just modify it and use it to their own liking without needing to worry about breaking it, or anything falling out of place, because everything is already locked there for them. I think I have 2 more questions already on the chat. So let's 1 second. So Grace is asking if there's a way to add animation to posts. Unfortunately, as of now, we're not able to add animations to posts. Everything's pretty static, but this is something that we are currently working on. So stay on the lookout for that. What else? Let's see. No more questions. It looks like it. As we continue, I think that's about it in terms of what I wanted to show you. But I wanted to see if anyone had any questions, or if anyone had any comments or anything that that you would like for me to cover today in terms of how to work with Sarah or create better designs? Oh, I have a question here. So the question is, how does the MLS database, how is the MLS database connected to Sarah? And is this a type of functionality that can be done for other uses? And yeah, okay, so yeah, how can we connect the MLS to Sarah? Let me just go over the whole process. It's actually quite simple. Let me just share my screen once again. So as you saw earlier on, I had a pop-up that basically said, basically told me to connect the MLS, my MLS to Sarah. And the way to do it is the only thing that users need to do is request it. So if you haven't already done so, all you need to do is go on sarah.com /MLS /integration, and you'll hit a form that only asks for your full name, your email, and the MLS that you belong to, the URL, and that will allow us to enable it for you. And once you have access, you'll be able to simply use all the different MLS listings or MLS listing IDs that you have and translate them straight into your templates. And from there, you can work with them as you like. You can change data as you like as well. In some cases, for example, you will want to say change some agent data, or you will have things will change, right? Life happens. You have to change things on the go. Oh, here it is. Okay, so once you hit this, this will appear if you haven't already accessed it, and all you have to do is get access, and you'll be able to enable it. So what I wanted to show you as well was that if you want to change something that is database related or MLS related, let me just open up that last file that I was working with. Let's say that I want to bring in, I don't know, some external data that's mine, that I have uploaded into Sarah as a team asset in the past. I can do so by simply dragging it as a smart field. I can just replace it. This my connection. Let's just say I want to do that. So I've already replaced it, and that's pretty much it. So if you want to have a quick look at it once again, so that was the original one. Let's just replace it. Boom, it's there, and it sort of automatically finds its way in there. You don't really need to do anything. Nothing will change in terms of positioning, and it's there for you to use as you like. So that's about it. Any further questions or comments, please do feel free to shoot them. Now's the time. Yes, good call, Grace. Let me just send the MLS site. That's .com. So now I've just sent you the site to sign up to the MLS access. All you have to do is, as I mentioned, put your name, MLS that you belong to, email, and contact details, and we will enable it as fast as possible, and then you'll be able to get with it. Jay's asking if there's any way to integrate data for Sarah Docs from a spreadsheet. Not yet. This is something that is on the works. So we will, hopefully we will be able to do this soon. For now, what you can do is fill it out within Sarah. Let me just show you how to do it, and uh, this will appear always on the side, and you'll be able to change it based on whatever it is that your most important business phrases, or I don't know, business information that you feel is essential. You can keep in there. There's a lot of fields. There's a lot of stuff that can actually be included. But unfortunately, in terms of filling out a doc from a spreadsheet, you're not able to do so as of yet. Grace is asking about MLS access and membership costs. Good question. As of now, we're allowing our users to get MLS access at no extra cost. In 3 months' time, this will change. Our MLS service will cost $100 per year, $100 or $100 per year per agent, and $2,000 per year for agencies. And for now, we're allowing our users to get at least 3 months off. And if you wish to continue to do so, and you start in the pilot program, you will be able to continue using it at no extra cost. So that's one of the great perks of being in this webinar and having Grace Tracy here, that you get first dibs on MLS access. If you have any further questions or anything pops in your head and you want to chat with us, we're always in the chat. There's always a person there, and you can always email me at alfonso@sarah.com. Happy to take any questions or hop on a Zoom call and walk you through it as many times as you need. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and hope to see you all soon in Sarah and asking more questions in the chat. Have a fantastic night, and yeah, see you very soon. Bye.